Got it. Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And this is There's Something Wrong with the Elizabeths. Okay,
Ooh.
that was our third viewing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna start drinking after this.
I'll probably join you.
Okay, so first off, that was kind of a hard one because I feel like we were being nitpicky and negative intentionally by asking all the questions.
I could see that.
So at least I know I was.
Mm-hmm.
So let's right off the bat. What was your great Eatlon?
You start.
Shit. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I can go. Okay.
Okay.
Mine. The acting in this movie is really good. Mm-hmm. And what's his name? The guy who did the My God. He's the amazing voice.
He's so good. I wrote down.
He's a really good voice.
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright. Okay, Jeffrey Wright has a really good My God moment where he has a whole realization, and you see it, and you actually get to see his whole body, which is rare in this movie. And he does he's thinking, and then it drops, and then he's like, my God. And it's so believable.
It is. You really believe it.
Oh, it's really good.
And there's no reason because the scene is so stupid. This movie is so stupid. It doesn't deserve his performance. But
it's just my God. Oh,
he does it so well.
Good. Yeah, that really was good this time. So, what about you?
Okay, so I came up with one. There's actually a shot that I do really like. And it's the first time that Story is trying to leave and she goes out to that stupid swimming pool. And we see her super close up because we're always seeing people really close up. And then it pans out and then we're back in the apartment and the door closes and it just, I don't know. I like that. I actually feel like kind of a beat in the movie. I was about to say Story, but I was trying to come up with something else. I feel like a beat in the movie where it's like, okay, and then that's the end, but it's actually just the beginning because it doesn't work. And so then we have our real conflict that starts. Mm-hmm. But I liked that. I liked that shot. I feel like it fits really well with the setting of the tone of the movie and the pace.
Oh, she can go home tonight.
Yeah,
okay,
excellent.
Movie over. Great. Yeah.
But it's not.
So speaking of realism, Lizzie and I decided to do. Speaking of realism, it's a good transition. Decided to do an experiment that I like to do anytime I watch a movie where someone's underwater. So I try and hold my breath.
Yeah.
So we attempted to hold our breath when Paul Giamatti dives under the surface of the water to go to Story's little story hole. Narf den or whatever. And then and our only breath break would be through straws when that's how straws work. Uses a pen to take a breath through the glass of water. And I'm a pretty good breath holder. Oh yeah, a glass of air under the water. I'm a pretty good breath holder.
I'm not.
I had 4 breath breaks.
Yeah.
I would have been dead so many times over. Yeah. You broke, before he even got down.
I don't have very great lung capacity. I'm always bad at holding my breath like that. And even with someone who's good,
I genuinely call myself good at holding breath, and that was absolutely impossible. But you're right. We were very nitpicky this movie, which was hard. It was hard. I mean, it's hard to sit there and just here's all the ways that are wrong. And I mean, maybe that's why Mr. Ferber is that way, which honestly,
I guess that's what he does.
He's not that bad. He's not that bad of a character.
I mean, leave him alone.
He deserved better. He deserved to be part of the group.
He should have been part of the group.
He really should have been part of the group.
They make a point about how people that are parts of the group are just drawn to the vessel and they don't know why. And they make a point of saying hey, you moved all the way from California. Why did you do that? And he's like, oh, just for a job where it's not necessary for him to have moved. He's a movie critic. He could write from anywhere and send it anywhere.
And I thought California would be better. You're closer to Hollywood. You could go interview people. What are you moving to Philadelphia for?
I don't know, but it would have been great if he was that would make sense. Instead, that detail's there for no reason.
Yeah, well, and I think it's M. Night Shyamalan being critics are the worst. And there's that part where it's who would be so arrogant? Well, everything he said is still accurate.
Yeah.
So they're still looking for the person who can interpret symbols.
Mm-hmm.
They're still looking for the group of people who have dialogue that you don't understand, which because it's spoken in another language most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's still right. And also, he wasn't told that this was some big important thing.
You left him out of the loop.
Yeah, Cleveland just knocks on the door
It's
when
not
he
fair.
seems it's his nap time. He's like, can I get back to my nap time now? Like,
Can you please respect my nap time?
yeah, it's not that bad a character.
So, do you want to? We just spent this whole movie writing down, and I've got a fairly thick number of
single-spaced questions.
So, do you want to just go like back and forth, especially
Yeah.
because I assume we'll have some overlap, and we can be like, oh yeah, I already did that one. So,
Okay.
do you want to go first?
Okay. At the very beginning, they say young Narfs. Young Narfs, which is old Narfs. And then what happens when she goes back? Are those the old Narfs?
So I'm confused about how many Narfs there actually are and how many messages they're trying to send us. So she has like the especially important message, but how many Narfs have been inspiring? Is every message important message that Earth beings get, or humans get, are they all from Narfs? Or like what are these messages?
Yeah, I had something similar. What happens to the unremarkable people that are awakened? Like, yeah, if you're like an unremarkable person, you don't have like a big thing, you're not going to write some book. Like, do you just have like a really good day at work? Like, what is it? Yeah.
What is the bug creature that Cleveland kills? We never see it, and it takes a long time to murder it.
What happened to the mom of the 5 daughters? We see the dad, we see the 5 daughters.
Why does everyone stand so close? And I'll tell you why they stand so close. It's because this movie is terribly framed and shot, which I didn't mention earlier, but also featured in the book was a discussion or like examples of how the guy who was like the cinematographer or in charge of shooting pictures or whatever, he was apparently drunk all the time on set and was super inappropriate and like would spend days. He would spend a whole day shooting something and it would end up being completely useless footage. It'd be like footage of someone's like belly button or something. Like, and people suggested that M. Night Shyamalan fire this guy, but he was like, no, he's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. But he wasn't. He was crazy. This movie's terribly shot. Also, he apparently showed people his penis a lot while on set. Yeah. Super inappropriate.
This movie could actually be a lot better if it was shot better.
Yeah.
Like, if it was, it's really well acted. If it was prettier, like if it was more visually entertaining, it would be easier to overlook some of the really awful dialogue.
If this is a fantasy movie, why is everything just people's faces?
Boring.
Why is nothing fantastical?
Like stairwells. how many scenes are in a stairwell? So many. They built an apartment complex for this movie. The budget was $70 million so they could build the apartment complex, and we spent a majority of time in boring stairwells. Like, build a pretty apartment complex.
Yeah, it's...
You know, anyway. Back to questions. I'm only 3 in. What is that lady studying? It's a big deal that she's going to school. Mm-hmm. What's she studying? I think she's reading, like, a biology textbook at some point.
It's all multiple choice questions.
Is she studying to be... Wouldn't it be great if she was studying to be a dentist?
Yeah.
Instead of marrying a dentist,
one.
she's going to be one.
I wish it somehow was important what she was studying. Like, I wish it came up in the plot. Question that we established earlier: why did Farber have to move from California to be a movie critic? Doesn't make any sense.
There's a whole thing in the beginning, like there's bubbles in the pool, there's something wrong with the pool water. Do Narfs have some kind of mucus on their skin that's getting into the pool water? And is that part of the reason why when she exits the water and doesn't go back in, why she's slowly, like, her hair is changing colors? Like, maybe she's being unhealthy, she's supposed to be in the water.
Good one. Why does Cleveland own a typewriter? We never see him use it. It takes up a lot of space. He was never a writer. I don't understand.
Yeah. Does the apartment complex back up on a forest? It's like really woodsy.
Yeah. Why does the viewing of the vessels, like, why does his seeing the Narf have to be an accident? Like, maybe it doesn't, but I don't understand because she doesn't seem to want to be seen.
Yeah.
Like, and she's hiding in the pool. Yes,
in the
bedtime
story, it says their whole purpose is to be seen by people. Which, like, why not make them sirens? Have them sing a song.
Yeah,
and then only the vessel can hear it. You know, or something.
They're like muses, but they're muses, and they know that they're muses, but they don't want to talk to you, and they don't want to be seen by you. I hate Xanadu.
Oh my god,
Caitlin loves it.
Yeah, it's a movie.
It's a movie.
Your turn. No, my turn?
No, it's your turn.
How did she get him back in his apartment? Like, he tries to rescue her, and then he wakes up in his bed, and she's, like, shivering on the sofa. I don't think she could pull, like, one of his legs, let alone take all of his body, put it on his bed. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, that was actually not my next question, but my second next question, so I'll skip that one. So it said at the beginning, when they do their little Fern Gully story thing at the beginning, they stole that from Fern Gully, that we forgot how to listen. And so the Narfs stopped trying. But then, obviously, they are trying because they keep building these rooms under these swimming pools that need to be seen. And she communicates in English. It's not like a weird language that we have forgotten how to hear, and then the interpreter or whoever's able to understand it, like, just say something. Obviously, it worked really quickly in this movie.
Talk about it.
I don't understand.
And then I have this thing like, okay, so M. Night Shyamalan is awakened by her and then starts listening to himself. So it's maybe that we're not listening to the voices within us.
Maybe. So,
but that's still very selfish. Like, man had it in us all along, but we just need to listen to our inner voices. It's weird. Mine is, okay, she's taught the meaning of names. She hears his name and she's like, oh, Cleveland, your name means near the cliffs or from the cliffs. But she's not taught that nudity makes most people
That is my exact... it was later on, because she puts the shirt on, but then it was later on when she steps out of the shower, and he's like, can you please put some clothes on? How does she not know that that's inappropriate? She knows what the name Cleveland means.
Yeah. And I mean, this is her whole purpose in life up to this point, is to come talk to these people and, like, be a part of these people. Like, she has not been taught, hey, they're uncomfortable with nudity.
Like casual nudity.
That's a basic one. Like, you can learn that from not even speaking the language, just watch
a movie or watch a person. Oh, they're all wearing clothes. That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
How did he ever fit into that shirt that she's wearing?
Oh.
Why does he still have it? Was it his wife's shirt? Is it a woman's shirt? What is this shirt?
Also, she calls that shirt, like, beautiful.
This beautiful, cream-colored button-up shirt. I
really wish it were, like, a really loud Hawaiian shirt. Like, a really dramatic Hawaiian shirt. And she's like, this is so beautiful. That would be so much better.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
My question is, what is she pointing at?
That was one of my questions.
Yeah. Like, when... I think she's... Yeah.
What is she... It's backwards. But
I think she's pointing at the pool. But, like, she's just like... Oh, and pointing... Where is she pointing at?
Super strange.
Yeah.
When he's holding her on the couch, which it's a whole other question as to how they got to that couch. He sleptwalked under her. He's on the bed. They both fall asleep. Then he's, like, holding her in his arms. Whatever. He asks her, which she's already told him that her name is Story. She's already told him that she's from the blue world. But he's like, who are you anyway? And she just goes, Narf. And I would just be like, this soggy bitch says some weird things in her sleep. Like, that's strange. But he takes that one word and then he decides to go talk to Soon Young. He's like, hey, do you know what Narf means? Can you look up this word? I don't have the internet. And I think I would have just thrown away that word. And just, why does he know that that's significant?
Yeah. Narf really does sound like a sound effect, not a word. Is the fact that the apartment is named The Cove supposed to mean something?
I think so. I'll answer that question. Yes, I think so.
Okay. It's supposed to mean something, but we don't know what it means.
I mean, just like the blue world water, they're water people. She's a sea nymph, the cove. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just supposed to tie in somehow.
Ooh, look, we named it The Cove.
It's very clever. Okay, so he can see the scrunts, but then later he's only able to see the scrunt by going out and challenging it and saying like a thing, by saying the ancient thing. And then also at one point, after he challenges the scrunt and the scrunt's about to kill him, Mr. Farber walks by and then it disappears, as if people aren't able to see it.
Well, it's like it's supposed to be a Master Hider. But I will say, like, the first time you saw the scrunt, it was because it was coming out to attack them.
Yeah.
And then he challenges it, but then Mr. Like, the
I'm just
rules for the
confused by the
stunts are
rules.
weird. Yeah.
There's a lot of rules, and I don't think they make any sense.
And apparently the rules are really important in this movie, but they're very inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
How does she know how to fold a shirt? All right, this is driving me insane. She goes into the shower. She puts the shirt that she's been wearing on the stool, and it's like a collared long sleeve shirt, and it's perfectly folded, and the collar is up. Like, it's folded better than most people know how to fold a collared shirt. She's never worn clothes before,
Never.
and she's very uncomfortable in it. How does she know how to fold a shirt?
I assume you can't even fold things underwater, really. So
because they just come apart.
yeah, it just comes apart.
Like, why would you bother? Like, what's underwater origami? Nothing.
It bothers me that Soon Young gets so irritated. Why does she get so irritated with Mr. Heap when he's like, "Can you look up the word narf?" And she's like, "It's an Asian bedtime story." And then she doesn't know the bedtime story. That really annoys me. She acts like he's stupid, and then she's like, "Oh, I don't know what it is."
I don't have answers.
She's being a bitch. I don't know.
Are all narfs women?
Mm.
Every time we hear them referenced, it's she and her and she and her. Are they all women?
What will the Eatlon make the Narf free from?
That was my next one. Become free from what? And then
The
she
Eatlon
will become free.
She will become free. She's not bound right now.
This isn't like some kind of form of slavery that we know of. I'll skip mine then. We never see butterflies around the building or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then later when she's like, "Oh, that butterfly came up with you," it's so bad that she's informing the audience of something that we never saw, though we were there to see it. It would have been so much better if she was like, "The butterflies make their home behind your house."
Yeah.
You know, or something like that. Like, I thought you knew this, you know, but anyway.
All right, so next up was my thing about the nudity and how it's ridiculous that she doesn't know not to be nude. Why doesn't the Eatlon show up the first time? So she sees the vessel, they meet, then she goes out to leave, and the Scrunt tries to kill her because her ride isn't there. Like, where's her fucking ride? What is he doing? Doesn't he know? Anyways.
I mean, she was out for a while the second time, too.
Did he show
and
up?
She still got attacked. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Does the child not have anything to read beyond cereal boxes? Like, he's not even... Yeah.
Are butterflies seriously considered to be distrustful insects? And is that a characteristic that we've studied in insects?
Yeah, butterflies are distrustful, zebras are sarcastic.
What's a trusting or insect? I don't know. Go on.
Why is Jared Harris? He's a 40 to 50-year-old British guy.
That's literally my next question. Where did Jared Harris
Why is
come
he
from?
hanging out with this group of 20-something stoners? Where did he come from? Why are they there? Yeah.
And we've said this before, though, about the great actors. He's so good. Jared Harris is the guy who was in, you said he was in Sherlock Holmes.
He was in Sherlock Holmes.
He was in Mad Men. He plays Lane. He was in Chernobyl this last year, which was probably the best thing that I watched on my television the whole year. He's amazing. And he carries those stoners.
Though the guy with the dreadlocks is doing some great background
he is.
fuzzy work. He's not in focus.
He's not in focus.
In one other scene. You go.
Oh, yeah. This one's a long one. Okay, other than getting on an Eatlon, when are the Narfs ever out of water? Because, like, the Tartutic only attacks when they're out of water. But, like, that's just such a rare time to me. And they know, not that Tartutic, the Scrunts only attack. And they know that the Tartutics are going to be there. I just feel like they need to come up with, like, another plan.
The Scrunts do?
The Scrunts.
Okay.
Because there's, like, one window where they can attack, where they physically can attack her, and it's when she's out of water. And the Tartutic, historically, has always been there, except for that one time. Has a Scrunt ever successfully... They say at the beginning that Scrunts, that Narfs don't always make it back.
Yeah,
but how?
But how?
What are they...
Maybe if they have to get out of the water to be seen by the vessel?
Yeah, I guess in that one... she does this time because she saves his life. Which I guess that could have happened more than once. These rules.
Mine is, she reads English? She's reading his diary. Like, she reads English. Okay.
At one point, so she seems to know that first night, she knows it's time to leave. Like, she's like, it's time, and you can't watch me. And that's when we get that scene, that visual where we zoom out and we close the door and we're like, the movie's over. I have things
to say about that, but that's going to be in the future.
But she seems to just have like a feeling that it's time, but the Elon never shows up. And I just think it's weird because then later she just senses that the Elon is coming. Well, did you feel that earlier? Did you not feel it earlier? How did you...
I think she felt it was coming, but maybe it also knew that she got attacked and then got pulled back in before it could get there. And so it was like, I'm out.
Maybe. It's just out. That thing could take on a scrunt. It was huge.
I'm going to do two because I already sort of did one. Are we supposed to be listening to ourselves? I already kind of addressed that. Why does he confront the scrunt the night before?
Just for practice, he says.
For practice.
I'm gonna
you
might die.
Fight this thing for practice.
Yeah, fight this crazy thing. I don't remember if we already said this or not. Why does her hair change color? Or you had a theory on it.
I had a theory on it, but why does her hair change color? It means nothing.
It's symbolically, I don't know.
What does JG Scrunt mean? When she's talking to him on the walkie-talkies, she says, the JG Scrunt will... Blah, blah, blah. Like, what does JG Scrunt mean? Also, it kind of sounds like a financial institution.
Yes, it does.
Like, trust your money with JG Scrunt.
That's amazing. Okay, so there's a scene when he's like up just like collecting garbage or whatever in the hallway. And
in
the stairwell.
We get to see 4 floors of the stairwell.
Beautiful, fantastical stairway. And then he hears her run through and he looks down and he sees her running. So he goes to see her and then the scrunt breaks through. And I figured out, it took me forever. I was like, what did he break through? And then why does he not immediately bite Cleveland Heap? Bite her? Like the face?
Like he breaks through a little window and it's like right here.
It's
like,
right there. Look, they're dead now. Yeah. It just ate your face. Why does it not eat their face? I might have more answers to that question if we could zoom out and see all 3 visual subjects in the frame.
Wouldn't it be nice? I want
if you could see people.
I would love to watch this movie reshot. I really would. Just like reshot. I actually think this could have been more successful.
Still not good.
It's still not good. But there's some good acting. There's some interesting-ish stuff. I will say it's creative. It's sort of original. I like it. You know, it could have been so much better if you could lean into that fantasy and actually see what's going on. What was he going to fight the scrunt with? Because she's just telling him, like, you can hypnotize the scrunt while he's out there. Yeah, he has a flashlight. What are you going to fight the scrunt with?
So she tells him, or I guess... Yeah, Sue Young tells him that there's like a key mud, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think she's the one that tells him about it. So he has to go into the underwater Narf Cove or Narf Den and get this mud. Why isn't it a mud? It's like a rock.
It's like a rock.
And it's being kept under a cup that she had to like bring down the air to keep it dry. And then he immediately just takes... Why is she keeping it dry?
He takes the cup off
because
2 of them.
He takes it off and it doesn't... I feel like it should just like immediately fall apart because it needs to be dry. But it doesn't...
It's like a rock.
It doesn't seem to need to be dry. It seems to make no difference whatsoever. So why did she go through all that effort to keep it dry? Why does he not think about that? And then why is it not mud?
Well, and how do they use it?
We never get to see it.
It's a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just confused.
Mine was combination with what was he gonna fight him with? What was the plan for fighting the scrunt? What is Mr. Leeds' story?
Yeah.
Like Mr. Leeds turns out to be this kind of important person. What's his story? Also, on that same note, I wrote down, quote, son, and you don't want to become like me. Those actors are the same age.
They seem to
and
be.
Mr. Leeds actually looks like he could be younger. Like, he's not some old man. It would make sense if he was like in his 70s.
I have no
like,
idea
oh,
how
son,
old Bill Irwin is.
You don't want to become like me.
Maybe he's like Steve Martin though, and he's like 80, but he looks.
And he's like, yeah, looks like 40 or 50.
Yeah.
But yeah, this dude looks about the same age or younger. Don't call me son.
That is really strange.
Oh my god.
It's really
like, it'd be like
condescending.
if I was like, oh kid, don't you worry about it. Things will work out for you, kid. Just buck up.
Yeah.
You'd be like, fuck you.
Very odd. I'm not allowed to speak of the blue world. Why not? Didn't we used to be friends? Didn't somebody tell this story to somebody? Like,
Yeah.
there is a story that is apparently a bedtime story, but how did anybody hear the story the first time if you're not allowed to speak of the blue world? I'm confused.
Mm-hmm. Why does M. Night Shyamalan's sister say very funny Herb?
It must be a reference to something.
Not his name. I don't know what Herb they're talking about. Cool.
I wouldn't Story know the story of Thousand Narfs? Like, that's a particular Narf story called Thousand Narfs that the Korean mom knows about. And she seems, I feel like that's something where you're like, there's like clues and you're like, oh, it attacked anyways, so I must be, but she just like doesn't seem to have any clue about that or any answers. I feel like she would know that story.
I feel like she would know that story. Maybe she's just kind of dumb.
Yeah, or maybe she's just like so modest that she doesn't realize she's the Madame Narf.
We never know. I mean, I have always known I'm the chosen one since birth, but that's just me. R.I.P. to Story, but I'm different. Why is he writing in his diary again? It doesn't come back. Why is he writing his diary?
Important?
What's he writing about? Doesn't matter.
Why can't he be in the shower with her? Like, there's a part where she's like in the shower and she's cuddled up.
She's like, cool. And she does have a towel on at that point.
Yeah, maybe. And like Vic's sister is the only one talking with her. She like.
Oh no! At that point, she doesn't have a towel on.
I don't think. Yeah, I feel like she's naked there, but he's already seen her naked a million times. I just think it's weird that all of a sudden she's modest.
I read that as the sister creating a boundary. Because the sister is the one that says, hey, they'll stay out there and I'll tell.
Like, she
that.
just
like, I feel like she
assumes,
was creating a boundary.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Which I kind of give credit to the sister for.
Yeah.
When she goes back, she becomes an inspiration to the other Narfs. To do what? To do what? Like, they're already coming to humanity to try and make things better. Like, what are the other Narfs going to be doing? Like, she's an inspiration to the other Narfs for what purpose?
What hope is Cleveland Heap filled with?
He's not filled with hope.
No.
He has given up.
They describe the healer, which Cleveland Hope eventually is, he's her healer, as someone who's filled with hope.
So much hope they can heal other people.
And he just thinks he's a loser. He has no hope.
He gave up his career. He doesn't want anyone to really know him. Yeah. What is Reggie staring at? He's not staring at, like, during the party. He's not staring at the scrunt. He doesn't seem to be staring at Story. We see him follow Cleveland a little bit, but he is like really intent on something we never quite find out.
Yeah, and we've watched this 3 times.
3 times.
And each time I think he's looking at something different. If only there was some kind of establishing shot or something. Why will the Eilton only come one time? And that also goes back to, did it come before and then sense danger and go away? She's like, one time. And it's like, are we not in this together?
Like, one more time.
Eatlin, not Eilton.
Well, I will say there is one of them. Like, they say it's like the last one.
What is it doing?
So
that's
maybe,
so important?
maybe, how many other Narfs are there is another question we've got.
She's the Madame Narf. Okay.
Does the Eatlin know that?
I don't know.
Does she have like 5 stars on her Narf like writer reviews? What do the sprinklers mean? Yeah. What do the sprinklers mean?
Why is Farber standing at his door already when Cleveland Heap comes to see him? We wondered this out loud. He knocks on the door. It's like, knock, knock. Hello? He's just, today is the day someone visits me. And then he's right there. It's
and
weird.
it feels a lot like The Room because he knocks and immediately answers and he's like, "Did you know that downstairs? What did you want anyway?" Like that dialogue.
The
is not how
dialogue
people
is
talk.
terrible.
Why is she blonde now?
I did think it was interesting, and I can understand what you're saying now that I'm thinking about it with the sister creating a boundary between them, like some modesty. But then later, everyone is in the shower.
But at that point, she's wearing a towel. Like you see her wearing a towel.
Still.
Yeah, it is weird.
Would you just let everyone?
And at that point, she looks uncomfortable with it.
She looks
She's
so
just like...
tired. She's just like she doesn't say anything. She just watches them.
Yeah.
It's so odd.
Why does M. Night Shyamalan get up, look around, close his door? There's nothing watching him that we see. We never see him threatened in that scene. Why does he just get up, look around, and close his door?
Some of these questions already asked. Why does she call it a JD Scrunt? Why does the Scrunt run away when Farber walks by? Why can't we get her pants?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of females meet her that are roughly her size. Somebody get this woman some pants.
Literally never wearing pants. Even in the party scene, still just wearing a shirt. Who values Mr. Leeds' opinion?
Yeah, I guess
That's
for some
his
reason
role as a
Cleveland
witness.
does, but
Why? What's his story?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because he calls him son and it makes him feel like he's superior. It's a question that the movie asks and gives no answer for. Where is Tartutic? Where is where is the collection of monkeys called Tartutic? Because he's like, where are they? And we never know why they're not doing. They have one job. They're not doing it.
And he says very dramatically, "Where is justice?
Where is justice?"
And I mean, evil monkeys that roll through like fear. Not really gonna call justice, but cool. They're so evil they murdered their parents the day they were born. Justice. Batman wouldn't approve. Why didn't they try to find out who the Guardian is? Why didn't they ask the cereal boxes? Like, they asked the cereal boxes, what do we do next? And the cereal boxes are like, I have very clear, specific answers for you, including the gender of whoever should be.
Yeah.
But they don't ask who the Guardian is. Like, that would really help out with the Scrunt.
And we know that it's not Cleveland.
Yeah.
But we never find to replace one. You kind of asked this question already. I just put, what is Mr. Leeds' problem? like he walks in and he's just like, does mankind deserve to be saved? Like out of nowhere. And then he mentions Cleveland's dead family, which just as a general rule, if no one has mentioned their dead family to you, it's because they don't want to talk about their dead family with you.
If you learn nothing else from this video series.
He mentions the family, and then he's like, you don't want to be like me, and I don't, did your family die? I mean, that might be something if you're like, listen, or I just want you to know, I know this sad thing about you, and I understand, and you can talk about it sometime, but instead I don't know what his problem is.
Yeah, I thought maybe he knew who the murderer was, or something. This is my last one that I wrote down. At the very end, Cleveland says, "Thank you for saving my life." How did she save his life? Was it from the healing that he finally got like closure with his family? How?
I still have a few.
Okay.
Where did all the people come from for this party? I guess they all live in the apartment complex, but really, I don't know.
Can they all fit in that room?
Yeah,
There's a room with a band. It doesn't look that big, but then everyone's in that room.
It's so odd.
Yeah.
At one point, a character has a mirror, like a compact mirror. Someone at this this rager of a party bumps into her. She drops the mirror, and she just never finds it. And she's like, "God, we need a new mirror." And it's like, where did it go?
Yeah, she's like, she looks for it for about 2 seconds, and then she finds it, and she's like, "Find a mirror,
lady. I think it would be faster if you found your fucking mirror.
Yeah.
I already have a job.
That it's broken.
Yeah, some kind of shot. Maybe they tried and it was all blurry. And
someone's dick in it.
Yeah. Why doesn't Story scream when the Scrunt gets her? She makes no noise, and she's very quiet by nature, but still. Why do they blame Mr. Farber? You already established that. I don't see why it's his fault.
Not as, like, he's not blameless. He's kind of a jerk, but he's really not that bad.
No. Why doesn't Farber run? He gives a big speech at one point. He's talking to the Scrunt, and he makes a speech about how it ends with how he's gonna run, and then he just turns around instead of
He
like
literally
preparing.
turns.
There should be like an angle that your legs are moving at, like to run, and he's just like, I'm gonna turn around now.
And then he dies. I like the way Lizzie put it. He dies like a flailing Muppet.
So, and that actor, I forgot his name.
The
Bob
actor's doing a good job
something.
too.
He really does try his best. Bob Balaban.
Yeah, he does like a decent job. There's a couple parts where like he really sells me on what he's saying.
He does, and even that scene, I hate that scene so much. I hate everything he's saying. I think it's so stupid.
Oh, the Velociraptor scene?
Yeah, but that actor's doing the best that any actor could ever do. And there's so many times when I feel that with Jeffrey Wright, when he says the thing, with Paul Giamatti, like, you know, there's that scene, that first scene where they're in his bedroom and none of the dialogue makes any sense and it's so stupid, but he's doing the best.
That first scene
that
where
could be
he
done.
wakes up from having this weird experience and there's this girl on his divan or whatever, on his little couch. No one would do that. No one would talk like that. Like if I woke up from a near-death experience and someone is in my house, I wouldn't be like, okay, well, you won't get in trouble. Like,
I won't get you in trouble.
Nobody talks.
Do
the way
you
he
feel
talks.
an awakening? And you're just like, what? Get out of my house, you soggy girl.
The lady in the water, aka the soggy girl.
The soggy girl. At one point, it's the part where, it's one of the scenes where like everyone's trying to heal her and give her energy, and I just wrote, why can't I see everyone in this scene? Because you can't. I have no idea really who's even there. It's really frustrating. Why don't they bother to find out who the Guardian is since it's not Cleveland? I just wrote, what is the Scrunt's issue?
Yeah.
Like, do they benefit somehow from mankind being ignorant? Like, what did they get out of this?
Do they feed off of war or violence?
Yeah. I don't know what their deal is and why they hate the Narfs. Are Narfs like their only source of sustenance? Are they the only thing they can eat? I need something. Why does everyone call him Mr. Heap? Like, I understand if you're younger, like the young, Soon Young, I understand her calling him Mr. Heap, but like people that are his age, like I would not, even people that are older when I've had like apartment tenants, I didn't even know their last name. They'd just be like, hi, I'm Dennis. Like who, it's not a teacher or something, they work for you. I don't understand. It's a casual relationship usually.
I manage staff. Like I have a staff of like 15 and they call me Elizabeth.
Yeah, I think it's strange that they call him Mr. Heap. And then it frustrates me that the Scrunt breaks through that little window, but then later when there's a door and he knows that they're on the other side, like, just bust down the door, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're all muscle and claw. Why don't you just bust through?
So,
those are all my questions.
3 showings in, I feel like we have found some answers for our questions. Not a ton, but some. I would also like to point out, Lizzie and I appear like we've got a good amount of space sort of between our heads in the movie. This is about how close most people appear when they're talking. I'm going to reach down. Between our legs, there's that much room. Like, we're that close to touching. This is not how most people have conversations. It's also not how we watch the movie, because this amount of space is not really comfortable for 2 people. Like, she goes over there.
Yeah.
We come over to just be on camera. So, yeah.
And it adds to that tension that Cleveland and Story have, where there's so many times when they're talking and they're seriously talking so close. And I'm like,
that scene that makes both of us uncomfortable, where she's like, Cleveland. Wow.
And I wonder, I'm like, why is she so close to him? Like, it's strange. And then it's like, oh, she has to be, because that's how it was shot for no reason.
Get everybody in frame.
Yeah, for some reason, like, so right there.
So we're the Elizabeths.
Yes.
Here we get close enough that it looks like this movie does. Okay. We're the Elizabeths, and we're really enjoying Lady in the Water.
No, we're not.